Hi. Chick-wait. Hi, humans. If anybody would like to buy me a ring light, I'm pretty sure I've got one in my Amazon wish list. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Because this lighting is terrible. Yeah. This is the first house I've lived in that didn't naturally somewhere just have really good lighting, and it's really annoying. In the daylight it does, just not in the evening. Hi. Evening. It's not evening, it's nighttime. It's nearly 10 p.m. I'm making this video mostly because I look like this today. You're welcome. You're welcome and hello. My throat is wrecked. I've got a bit of a cold, and then I've been speaking a lot of light language recently, mostly to myself in the bathtub or in the hot tub, sometimes in the shower. It's always, water is always present. Okay, this is important to know. I hadn't really connected that yet. That I am always submerged in some version of water in order for light language to occur. Interesting. What is light language? Light language is a galactic language. It's language far beyond the density and the primitiveness of just English and earthly language. So light language is a lot more noises and tones and vibrations and breath. And it's something that I've been channeling recently. There's someone here who's so freaked out right now what I'm talking about right now. That's okay. This is a safe space. This is a safe space where I honor myself in being who I am, and a safe space where I honor you in being who you are. And the rules of engagement here on it doesn't matter if we like each other or agree with each other, but we will love each other and we will respect each other. And we will be called out if we are not speaking and engaging in a respectful manner. So it's okay that it's like, what the hell is light language? So my throat chakra is wrecked because I've been speaking a lot of light language. And I took quite a break from posting content. And one of the questions I asked myself in the last couple weeks was, do I even like creating content anymore? Do I actually even like this anymore? This has been my job for so long. This is literally my job. A lot of what I do is here. A lot of the money I actually make a month, by the way, comes from tips from people consuming my content and then deciding to exchange energy with me. So if you've enjoyed this energy exchange and that's a way that feels fulfilling for you, thank you. And that's amazing. And the links are easily in my bio. But I've been doing this for so long. I've been working on social media for like 10-ish years now, like back when it was in its beginning stages of being able to be a job. And so I asked myself recently, like, do I even like creating content anymore? And what it did is gave me just like a really clear perspective on like asking myself, like, what do I actually want to do with my day anymore? Like, where do I actually even want to spend my energy anymore? And then today, kind of the last 2 weeks of that introspection, one of the things that I really recognized today was in getting a clear date in which Nick would be home this next time. Is that I was able to acknowledge myself like, oh, I've been feeling really depressed. Like, okay. I'm not enjoying creating content. Because I was like blocking myself up in this story and like creating content for other people versus creating for myself, getting stuck in trolls and people saying shit and people questioning my expertise and what I actually know. And it mostly happens on TikTok. My following on TikTok is 250,000. For those of you who have been here for a really long time, that's been a long time coming, but it's also really weird. And it's a different way of engaging and managing the energy. Is that Ariel? Hi, Ariel. Hi, Ariel. And so, yeah, I got to like get real with myself today that like, oh, I've been feeling really depressed and I didn't realize it. That's why I stopped enjoying creating content, because this is something that I really love and really enjoy doing. And so I want to put that out to you, that if there's things in your life that you really love doing that you haven't been doing and you're like, I actually don't even think I like them, and that's the story you're telling yourself about like, oh, I actually wasn't ever into that. No, you're probably just depressed. You're probably just been feeling depressed. And we are all in just like, shit is weird right now. Like, energetic shit is weird right now. It is like nothing, I don't think anything we've never navigated something like this before. And that's in the 3D, and then how like the other dimensional spaces are affecting. If you look at just the 3D, so change I am depressed to I have been feeling. Okay, I want you guys to pay attention to the nuances of my language because they're really fucking important. Okay? Pay attention to the nuances of my language and notice where your brain's kind of like, oh, what is that I'm hearing that's different? So I've been feeling depressed. And so I want to put that out to you that like if there's these things that you love, you're like, meh. Because in my life, let me tell you how fucking great my life is. My life is genuinely so great. I have been consciously creating my life for 7 years. I've been consciously creating my life for 7 years. So my life, in so many ways, looks exactly like what I fucking want it to. My friends and my relationships are incredible. My job, I literally created from scratch. My house is this curated masterpiece. I've been consciously creating my life for 7 years. So my life externally is, it's fucking good. It is so much better than I ever thought it could be. So I can get caught up in the story often about like, oh, well, like everything out here is so great that like I don't have a reason to feel depressed. Right? Like I don't have a reason to be feeling this way. But just being a human is a reason. And I can just like, it wasn't even safe for me to say it to myself until I found out Nick was a date that Nick was coming home. And so, because then it was like, oh, I know when I have a safety net. I know a safety net is coming. And realizing that so much of the way I've been feeling, the reason I'm feeling, because I asked myself, like, there doesn't have to be a reason, but I also was like, okay, what's the feeling underneath that? Because depressed and depression actually isn't a feeling. It's a way that we've pathologized a group of feelings, a group of uncomfortable, vulnerable, raw feelings. We've pathologized and categorized as depression. So I then got to ask myself, what's under this? Write that shit down. Write that shit down. So depression is how we have pathologized a group of uncomfortable, raw, vulnerable feelings. So I said, what's under the depression? The biggest bunch that's under me feeling depression is loneliness, as I'm just like over being alone. And that's that I have a very, very, really fucking good relationship. My marriage, my primary relationship is so good and it's so rich and it's so connective, and we've been separated as a long distance thing for over a year. And I'm just like tired of being alone. And so today was kind of this conversation with myself where I dug into that. And part of what happened for me was I had sessions and stuff and I didn't feel like going to work today at all. And so I called in my alter ego. Her name is Faith, and had Faith get us dressed and Faith take us to work because I didn't want to work, but Faith could get us there. So that's what this is. And that brings me to some of the reasons that I've been having a hard time creating content and ways that I just like want to out myself, because then it's just going to make me be able to show up more authentically and show up and do the thing. And why I've held back from really speaking about this is I tell myself the story that, because I don't have like an official psych degree, even though I was literally like a handful of credits away from a psych degree, even though I don't have one, I'm not qualified to be talking about this, which is bullshit. I do have it's total bullshit. It's a story I tell myself is that other people won't think I'm qualified. It's not that I'm not qualified. It's that other people won't think I'm credible and qualified. And that people will think I'm crazy and it'll be used against me. I haven't talked about the Free Britney movement or Britney's conservatorship because it's incredibly triggering to me, because I've had close people in my life use my psychic experience to try to like straight up like lock me up for being crazy. That happened to me. So part of that is I have this alter ego named Faith, who came from when I did burlesque professionally in my early 20s. And she's not the only additional to like Shanté, the inside of me is incredibly multifaceted in a way that like I say we about me. Yeah, we're doing really great. I have an incredibly complex and well-developed internal family system. It's actually not that complex. It's a very well-developed internal family system where I have inner children. I have an inner 7-year-old, an inner 12-year-old, an inner 15-year-old. Her name is Mayhem. An inner 19-year-old and an inner 23-year-old. I also have a 27-year-old, but she's kind of like off doing her own thing right now. And then I can tap into older versions of myself as well as like higher selves. And that's just like my own internal self. That's just all the core parts of myself. That's not that I'm working with Ganesha most days. That's not my whole spiritual team. That's not my connection to source. That's not me talking to aliens and channeling light language. And so a big thing that I've really been wanting to talk about that I've like held myself back from is internal family systems and what that actually means and what it actually looks like. And just where I'm at currently, and then I'm in another level of psychic awakening. So there's a, like spiritual awakening where you're like, oh my God, wow. Life is not this 3D linear thing I thought it would. Like things are so much greater than this. I'm in connection to something so much greater than this. I am part of everything. That's a spiritual awakening. You're like, wow. And then you go through your first dark night of the soul and you're like, oh my God, nothing is like I thought it was. I'm dying. Everything inside of me is dying. Who I was before this moment is dying. I'm not going to make it. We're all dying. And then like you don't die. And you come out the other side and you go through a rebirth. And then there's usually like an intuitive awakening where your intuitive senses really come back. Spiritual awakening and intuitive awakening can happen together. Then there's also psychic awakening. Okay. Psychic awakening happens to people a lot more often. It is characterized by a significant psychological crisis, and psychic awakening are commonly the same things. Also, there are people who have come in clear enough that they were never really had a psychic awakening. They just always were. Those are people who get stuck in a mental health system, typically really young, and not supported through what's actually happening. And then scary stuff does happen. And so I'm in it. And even if you're like, you can also go through just like psychic awakening. My psychic awakening was a significant psychological crisis. That's what I did. 35 days of inpatient mental health care treatment. And now I have an understanding of myself. I have an educated and practiced understanding of myself in terms of an internal family system. I have an incredibly practiced and effective and efficient tool belt in regards to moving through emotional experiences and the human 3D shit, and I'm constantly picking up new tools in my tool belt. I'm really disciplined and dedicated on my self-growth journey. Like my full-time focus is on like creating my life and healing myself and doing the thing. And so even though yes, all those things, I still felt so insecure and genuinely like physically afraid about talking about this stuff. Because of the very 3D, like trolls and people questioning me and whatever. But also a lot of really intensive past life trauma. And that's a big thing coming up for people right now. This feels like I'm rambling a little bit, but it usually like ties itself in a bow towards the end. And it feels like we're coming towards a bow. Do I have any questions coming up? Nobody's responding, but there's about 13 of you who have been here consistently. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Questions, comments, concerns? Hi guys, I'm so glad you're here. A big thing coming up right now is past life roots of current repetitive cyclical trauma. Cyclical. I don't know. Arguable. Cyclical trauma that's like a story that you've replayed over and over in your life. So hi, Rosin. Who is that? Is that Rosalind? Rosin Star Forever. I want to know how to say your profile name. Hi, Becky. Hi, how are you? So for me, for example, a story I have lived my whole life is abandonment. And I am the eldest scapegoat daughter in a narcissistical behavior dynamic, aka any sort of addict, alcoholic household falls into that category. And someone over there is so loud. Rosie and Star. Oh, that makes sense. Good. It's nice to hear. Someone over there is so loud. Hold on. Is it you, Becky? Someone just like showed up and is super loud. There we go. Where was I? I was telling you guys about psychic awakening. I'm in another level of psychic awakening. Clairaudience is upgrading. I'm getting clairalience or clairfragrance is happening. And I've been smelling my husband on a date night all day today, and it's been so great. I got lost with the big background noise on what I was telling you guys. I don't know. You guys want to get me back on track? Do I tap out now? Can someone tell me where I was at, what I was talking about? That's so cool to hear, Rosie and Star. She said, ever since I started watching you, I've changed so much. It's probably me. I've been trying to get in touch with you so much. Speaking about abandonment, being a scapegoat. Oh, of course my brain so easily was like, fucking deuces. We hear noise out there. We don't need to be here anymore. Being the eldest scapegoat daughter. I'm safe. I'm safe here. I am safe here because this is my space, and if someone wants to be here and make me feel not safe, I gotta kick them the fuck out because this is my safe space. I've considered making my profile private, but like there's no reason why. It's just a fear thing. So one of my stories that I've relived over and over is abandonment. Okay. And if you're probably able to identify the cycle you've been in repetitively. It's probably really easy to look at it and like go, oh, here's the thing. Mine is a big fear of abandonment. So then I cling to relationships. I usually give a lot more than I'm getting and will just keep giving a lot more than I'm getting. I'm learning as we've opened up our marriage and I've started dating. I'm still attracted to emotionally unavailable people in a way that like, well, I'll be here and then they will suddenly become emotionally available. No, like they're just emotionally unavailable because of where they're at in their life. So that abandonment's been a big story for me. And it's interesting, like dating again, like how much it brings up who I am. Part of dating again has been like, I just want to get to be in the world, not as a wife, not as a mom, not as a psychic, not as a whatever. Like I just want to get to be in the world and interact with people authentically in whatever way it is that feels good. And so it shows you your things more. And because I'm doing it so consciously and being aware and like intentionally creating relationships, abandonment's been a big part of my story. So I'm sharing all of those nuances about this with you because if you've reached a place where you've been kind of stagnant and you've been doing a lot of healthy healing work, and you're looking for somewhere to like explore and grow yourself, ethical non-monogamy has been an incredible fucking tool over the last 6 months in a 7 months, really powerful, cool way. So my root of my abandonment stuff went back to a past life in Atlantis. And I have not healed enough from it yet. It was very intense. So I have not healed enough from it yet where I want to talk about it. And I haven't like fully understood everything and integrated it enough where I want to talk about it. But how I get there is like, oh, so you've got a cycle that's coming up. And do you feel qualified is the first question. Do you feel qualified to ask, what is the past life situation underneath this? Do you feel like you have enough tools? Do you feel like you have enough awareness? If not, this is a great time to invest and connect in yourself and create more tools for yourself so you feel qualified that if that comes up for you. Because past life trauma is just like real fucking dissociated trauma. And it feels, and the emotional experience is just like real trauma. Okay? So, first question is, do I feel qualified? If your answer is no, get an 1111. 1111 will make you have a tool belt enough to be qualified. It really will. 2, you could, do I feel qualified? If not, like, create a relationship with some sort of energetic or spiritual healer. Ask the universe, thank you for connecting me into my perfect aligned spiritual healer or person to work with. I could be that person. You can schedule sessions inside of my bio. And then you can ask the question, like, what is the past life root underneath this thing? What I will tell you is where the world is right now, and the converging of dimensional stuff, the settling of timelines, the kind of like integration that's happening, is that you are no longer experiencing things in linear, singular timeline experience. Whatever you are going through right now is also having its past life stuff, and it's also past life, alternate dimension. Like, past life is a phrase fitting into linear time, right? It's also like interdimensional stuff, because it's all happening at the same time, but it's all separate and whatever. We're getting really fucking intense, and it gets really confusing, and like, how does any of it work? It's like, if you think of dimensional stuff and timeline stuff as a computer screen, source being the internet being collective unconscious, right, that we're all engaging and interacting on. A different dimension is like a different window on your desktop screen, okay? A timeline of the same dimension is like tabs open in one window, and if it's a different timeline, the rules of the linear 3D reality and the majority of the circumstances are still the same. Like, the rules of the game are still the same. It's just different decisions have been made in that same timeline. Okay, different choices were made, so the storyline is different. Different dimension is a different physicality and rules to the game as a whole. Okay? So yeah, that is happening for everyone right now. Is this connected Lionsgate that just happened? Yes. Yes, it is. Everybody on TikTok specifically is like, oh my God, everybody's talking about Lionsgate like it's just a big deal. Lionsgate happens every year. Lionsgate is a big deal. This last Lionsgate was like the World's Fair, like, crazy fucking big deal. Crazy big deal. Like, do you remember in the early 2000s, Millennial here, when everybody came together for the song "Where Is the Love" and it had fucking everybody on it? Do you remember that? And then there were, in the 80s, there was the was it also "Where Is the Love"? There was the group also that all these artists came together and like did this crazy epic thing. It was like that. Lionsgate was like that. That it was a Leo new moon in Leo season on Lionsgate. It was like super crazy powerful lion energy. In the time leading up to Lionsgate, I was just like doing work in the Akashic Records. So yes, I feel like that kind of like covers like the logistical stuff. You're going to start hearing me talking about like way more weird shit than when he was even the weird shit I was talking about. It's going to get more because I've gotten more. And I'm just done. Okay, so here's the story I've been telling. This is fucking important. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is why I'm here, is to get this nugget out of my head. The story I've been telling myself is I am done being afraid of speaking my truth. I'm done being afraid of speaking my truth. That's the story I've been telling myself. The new story is I'm free to openly, honestly speak everything inside of me. That small shift. I am free. I freely express myself, and it feels so fucking good and liberating. I freely express myself, and it feels so good and liberating. I've been creating circumstances because the universe doesn't understand qualifiers or quantifiers. There's no such thing as I do not want this thing. There is only I want this thing. So me saying I'm done feeling, like I can't share everything. It's just me saying I can't share everything. I speak and express myself freely, and I feel so liberated, and I'm so supported. I'm so supported, and I'm seen, and I'm understood. Ooh, that feels good. What thing are you doing that in your life? I have one of my favorite people in the whole world right now. Hi, Willa. One of my favorite people in the whole world right now is going through a divorce, and it's kind of turning out like a sad country song. Like, took his dog, took his house, took this whole thing. And part of me, like, I haven't said this to them yet, but part of me is like, honey, you always made the joke about being a sad country song. Like, you're kind of creating this. By kind of, I mean you're creating this. We haven't gotten there yet. I don't think they're ready for that conversation yet. So yeah, that's what I needed to find in this whole conversation. Pray and thank the universe for aligning you with a energy healer and a person to support you in moving through this. That person could also be a clinical counselor or something. If you feel like the accessibility of counseling or energy work is an issue for you, I'm going to offer to you what I just worked through, which is a story I'm saying about how it's not accessible or it doesn't work for me. And instead, I'm so grateful that it is working. Because there are fucking resources and it can work for you if you're in the vibration of it. Yes, systematic oppression is real. Also, the universe doesn't give a shit about our fucked up systems. Does not give a shit. The universe can play and work with those systems however it wants to. Because it does not abide by our fake ass rules. Oh, I want to ask you the question that I asked myself that gave me this whole epiphany. First things first, something I figured out today. I've been waking up in the morning, and one of the first things I've been doing is drawing a tarot card and a liminal space card for the energy of the day and my intention. But I realized today, part of it is I've been using that to tell me how I'm going to feel about the day. I think that's switching to the night. That I'm going to draw, maybe just draw an intention card, but then a tarot card for the night. I don't know, but I get to switch something up there. So today in the middle of the day, when I needed it, maybe that's what I wait for, is when I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm grounded enough in my day. Do I need these things? So the card I drew today in the middle of the day, because I had just I woke up feeling shitty. I woke up going, oh, I'm feeling depressed. I woke up just it wasn't a good day and super tired physically. I'm just not in a good space. I think my adrenals are fucked up. I get to figure some of that out, but I drew this card and it says, trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? I want you to answer that. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? The energy right now, too, is just wild, guys. You probably feel really shitty. Now I want to ask you, because your answer was probably something big you want to do. My first answer to that was start a podcast. If I knew I was supported, I would start a podcast. I've been telling myself, I have been telling myself a story that I can't make money doing a podcast, that it's a waste of energy doing it. Just I've been telling myself stories about it, right? So your brain probably went to oh, this is the thing I want to do. This is the big thing. Now I want to ask you, in the exact moment, so this will be different for you guys because it's in the middle of the night, but in this exact moment, what would I do? And I knew I was supported. What would I do? My answer when I drew that card at 11:45 this morning was it that early I drew it? No, I think I drew it later. Anyways, I drew the card. I'd gotten done with a session. I'd ended up canceling another one. Willow was on here and we just hung out instead for a minute. It's a client who's become a friend, which is not the norm. Let me tell you that. And don't come into it with the intention of becoming friends with me because it'll be fucking weird and I'll not want to work with you. Just things happen if they happen, okay? Anyway, boundaries. I can be friends with her by paying her. That's not how it works. So I drew a card and I'd cancel a session and I just had this open space. My brain's I should do dishes. I should whatever. And I drew the card and answered it. And my answer was, I want to masturbate and go hang out with my best friend. So you know what I did? That. On a Tuesday afternoon. No, fuck all of this. And you know what it did? Not just changed my whole day around, but changed my awareness and perspective of how I've been feeling depressed. Gave me a lot of insight on ways to connect in with myself and to change some of my day-to-day life to make me feel better. It gave me a renewed sense of energy in all of the ways. Gave me back some inspiration, which is all the things that draws abundance and security and safety and connection and support to me, as feeling good. My only job is to fucking feel good. And I will tell you, as someone who has consciously created their life for the last 7 years and who lives a life beyond my wildest dreams, very truly, that has proven true for me. When I focus on feeling good and healing myself and being open to feeling whatever feelings I'm needing to be felt, my life shows up and matches me in the healing that I'm doing. My life shows up and gives me exactly what I need, exactly when I need it. My divine connection, the higher power, the greater intelligence that is leading me and guiding me. When I am feeling good, I'm more capable of feeling into my intuition. And even today was still a day that I didn't feel that great to feel good. Physically, I'm super exhausted. Body's feeling pretty gnarly. But it's better than I was. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And it was a brave thing today to decide, instead of I need to do all of these things, it was a brave thing to say, I don't need to do anything but masturbate and hang out with my best friend. Bravery will get you out of your low vibrational feelings every fucking time, because it's the vibrational frequency right below neutral. If you are stuck in lower vibrational things, do something brave. Anything brave. Anything brave. So, that's the pile of weird stuff I got for you today. Did it come around wrapped in a bow? I don't think it did. That's okay. I don't think it did. Any questions before I get off this thing? I'm gonna go get in my hot tub. Manifested myself a hot tub. And then fought like hell for it. Advocated for myself for it. Questions, comments, concerns. There's somebody who's got a big question who feels like a weird question to ask, and I will offer to you. I told you that I'm going to get real fucking weird here, so feel free to give me weird questions to get weird with. Look at my earrings. Where did I get them? China. Etsy, a website? I don't remember. I think I got them on Etsy. This is the magician for the person over there asking. How much is 1111? 1111 is $555. The price has raised significantly. I just got a text. I love my earrings. Because, yeah. I'm not going to tell you why, because that's what price it is, because it's so fucking worth it, because it's such a good investment. I get to do office hours this week. I'm pretty excited to get to do office hours this week. It's open for open enrollment right now. We're probably going to close it from the open enrollment so that we can get ready for fall launch. I've left it for open enrollment because I felt like there were people who needed to get in on it before fall launch. There's also merch on my website. Other ways that you can get connected with me. There are very limited sessions, very limited one-on-one sessions currently available. There is Hey Hero, which is a way that you can get a quickie session from me that's much more affordable than a live one-on-one session. There's merch on my website. Tips are always appreciated. I'm gonna do a tapping tomorrow. I do a tapping on TikTok. Maybe a tapping here. We'll see. Yeah, those are ways you can support me, and support is really appreciated right now. That's what else I'll say, because I have been taking space from the more traditional selling hours of my life work mode. So the other more passive ways of supporting me are really appreciated. Yeah. All of that. No questions. Nothing? I said a lot of weird shit on that. No questions? Okay. Oh, a question I have for you guys that would be great for you to DM me about. What do you want to know from me? What do you want to know from me? I told you what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about inner child stuff and how it connects to your psychic and intuitive senses. But what do you want to know about from me? Other things that I actually don't talk about on here much, but if you're in my physical real life space, I don't shut up about, is I'm really fucking into crystals. And I talk to them and they talk to me and they talk to each other and I hear them so that I can like help them interact with each other. I'm really fucking into crystals, but I talk about it so much in my real life and I don't usually play with rocks on here, which is why we're bringing back Got Lost, Get Stoned, which is my other Instagram that you can go and follow, which is our crystal sales page. And then I'm kind of switching my attention from this last year. I spent it focused on people in their spiritual awakening, that I want to be working more with already professional working healers, and specifically professional working healers who have not yet expanded to integrating their psychic abilities and their like intuitive abilities into their professional work, but are healers. Estheticians, massage therapists, hairstylists, counselors. Counselors is a big one. I really, really love working with clinical therapists, social workers, elderly care. What word am I looking for with that? What's caregiver roles? Like people who already do healing work, but get a chance and would like a chance to get more integrated. Kiera said, crystals are fucking into you. They are into me. Rocks and me, we got a thing, man. Actually, at my first entrepreneurial endeavor when I was 7 years old was picking up rocks out of the field in the backyard of my house and pulling them around my neighborhood in a wagon, trying to sell them to my neighbors. And so the joke I always make is that I just got better rocks in a bigger wagon, but I'm literally living 7-year-old me's dreams. I love it so much. Okay, so specifically, what would you like to hear about crystals? Because I could tell you what different crystals sound like. I can tell you what they're used for. I can tell you how to pair them together. Tell you all the things. Crystals, got it. Anything else? There are 12 of you. No one else wants to talk to me? Okay. Well, it's time for me to go so that, oh my gosh, in 30 minutes, the new Motherland comes out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to force patience. If you're not watching Motherland Fort Salem on Hulu, go do it. You're welcome. Go do it. It is an alternate timeline. It's a bit of an alternate dimension, mostly an alternate timeline. Yes. Collected rocks. Yes. Yeah, no, there's rocks literally fucking everywhere. Everywhere. My house is covered in rocks. My children play with rocks. They have very little toys, partially because I'm like, just play with the rocks. Fine. Play with my toys. Whatever. Okay. I love you guys. Go follow Got Lost, Get Stoned if you're into crystals, into rocks, into the stones, into whatever. Lots more inner child stuff coming on TikTok. And things are going to get weirder. Oh, Kelly has plant babies for me. That's perfect. Is Plant Daddy on here? He's probably not on here. I have a plant daddy who helps me take care of my plants that I just water them when they get sick and stuff. He comes and takes care of them and plants them for me. My plant daddy. I found one of your little rocks in my truck this week. Oh, that's so nice. Want to know more about the Akashic Records? Okay, got it. Akashic Records, crystals. Hi, hello, Sonia. Nice to meet you. Do you have something that you would like to know about? Open-ended on anything you've ever heard me talk about. Who's into podcasts? I've been wanting to start a podcast for a very long time. And I officially have an assistant, which means that I can. Because the editing part, I have somebody who's qualified and already does that. So we're kind of at podcast point. So that's part of why I'm asking these questions. Is to get an idea over a first season of podcast episodes. Past lives, okay. Past lives, says Meg. Akashic Records and past lives go together really well. The Akashic Records are our soul's records. It's everything that has, will, and already has happened. Future, past, present, all of it. It's all of the things. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hi, Elise. Nice to see you. I love you guys. I'm going to go get in the hot tub and or bath. It'll depend on trauma-related things. Always naturally comes up because it's all trauma-related because we're humans. There's Elise. The question is, what would you like to hear from me? I'm planning out a podcast. And so I'm asking for some topics. And it feels like you have something important to say and that you were the reason I was waiting to get off. Well, anything that I've ever talked about, what is something that you specifically, what draws you here, Elise? Let's get real. How you heal is you feel. Simple. You feel, and you choose to productively feel. So you pick things that help you feel. Art therapy, writing, working out, crying, talking to people. Like, healing is feeling. Stop saying I feel broken and stuck. That'll help it. First thing to get unstuck, stop saying you're stuck. New here, first life, shadow work and balancing out the light and the dark. Okay, how you do that is you play in the dark. You take your light into the dark. EDS, okay. Oh, is this Dara at Papa Tom's? Dara who one time brought me fruit? Or is that Dana? That's Dana, I think. I think that's Dana, not Dara. I'm waiting for you, Elise. What is it that you've been wanting to know more about? Waiting. Not me. Lisa's panicking. It's safe here. We're safe here. This is a safe space. I had a moment with my tattoo yesterday in the mirror. Just like, look at him. Look at him. Oh my God. He's on my arm forever. For all of time. So good. Okay, Elise isn't answering. So, I'm gonna go. Oh, I don't think the link is in my bio yet, but I'm telling you that it's coming because I'm not, someone's like, surprise, I made a thing. YouTube, there's a new YouTube. And we're working on transferring old YouTube videos over and stuff. So I've got a new YouTube. And I've got an assistant who I'm going to make sure has all these links and stuff in my bio. So have a beautiful day. Thank you for the notes. I will go write them down in our podcast note situation. I love you guys. You matter. And you doing something as simple as getting on a live tonight mattered. Because the energy that you showed up here with is affected and helped create the energy of this space, that I got a lot of clarity, that I got to speak a lot of truth, and I got to feel more free and liberated. And that would not have happened the exact same way. Not panicking, says Elise, thinking. Healing is a big one. Self-confidence. Okay, self-confidence. Yes. Okay, I haven't talked about something like self-confidence in quite some time. Because that journey for me was kind of years back, like coming into a place of self-confidence. Oh, thanks, Elise. Yes, that's why I waited for you. The other ones have been like, yeah, whatever. And it's funny that it's something more, less ethereal that is getting me so jacked. That surprises me that people are like, Caution Records. I'm like, yeah, Caution Records. And you're like, self-confidence. And I'm like, fuck yes. What a great day. I've worked very hard for it. Thank you. And then there got to a point where I stopped working hard for it because it just was. I will say that. I fought for this. And then it just was. And I didn't have to fight for it anymore. And so much of why you are questioning your self-confidence is because we live in a sexist, ableist, misogynistic, male-driven society that markets and has built trillion-dollar campaigns against you feeling like shit about yourself. That is so much of it. So when you take ownership of that like so much of this is not my fucking fault and it's broken programming, it will make the healing of it simpler. That you're not broken. There was a system designed, intelligently manipulated to make you feel this way. And you guys matter. And you matter. That's where we have wrapped it up in the bow. Self-confidence, you fucking matter. That's ultimately what it comes down to, is you matter, and you are here on this earth at exactly this moment for a reason. And that doesn't have to be some big, crazy, huge, profound mission. It can be being yourself and looking someone in the eye at the grocery store. It can be raising aware, healing children. It can be petting a cat and helping the cat feel connected. Like, you're here for a reason, and it doesn't have to be some big, profound story why. I love you. Thanks for being here. Thank you for all the support at the various ways in my bio. Another way you can support me is tell your friends. Tell your friends. Invite more people here. Invite more people to this space. Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, darlings. This will be going up on YouTube, so you can go find it there. Bye.